You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, usually joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Kathy will be joining us in progress later in the podcast, but I invited my daughter, Emily, to join me here in the first segment. Hey, Emily.
Hello.
Hey there. Now, the reason I invited Emily here is we're going to talk about Trump's NFT, and my daughter, Emily, is an expert when it comes to crypto and NFTs, and Trump's NFTs that everyone was making fun of yesterday are completely sold out. And let me just read this article, and then, Emily, you could tell us a little bit about NFTs and how Trump is going to make money forever off of these. This is amazing, because I did not know this. I learned something just a few minutes ago. Emily was telling me how Trump is going to make money like forever and ever, over and over again off of his NFTs. I had no idea. It's absolutely amazing, but that's why he has $10 billion. So this is in Mediaite, which is left-wing and hates Trump, okay? This is the headline: Imaginary sticker shock. One $99 Trump digital trading card, that's the NFT, is already listed for $24,000, and people are bidding on it. And they're bidding thousands of dollars for it. On Wednesday, Trump teased a major announcement, and then the NFT thing came out. Now, everyone's been making fun of these NFTs. But, Emily, you tell people what a little bit about NFTs, just like real quick. What is an NFT? I know a lot of you know, but more people do not know what they are and pretend to know what they are, so they sound like they're not out of the loop. And I just think people don't really understand what an NFT is.
Well, the Trump website actually explained it in pretty good terms. The simplest way to think about it and relating it to something that we all know about is trading cards. But really, NFT is a technology that allows you to digitally put your signature on something. So that means it's basically like that's the only one thing. So imagine when they printed trading cards, there's only one of each card, and there's no other cards that match it. There's only one. Yeah. Each of them is digitally signed, so there's one of a kind that's yours, okay? So in the case of NFTs, when you bought one of these, it's signed to your digital crypto wallet, okay? So that means that forever that it's signed to you, and then you can sell it. And Trump sold these to people for $99.
Okay, now this is something I don't get. We'll get to how Trump's making some big money, because this is Trump knows how to make money. He's so smart. But this is what I don't get about NFTs, okay? It's a digital trading card. I get that. Why can't I just not use my iPhone and take a screenshot of it and have it? Why is it really valuable beyond just taking a screenshot with my phone? It just seems kind of like a real trading card that's like a paper one. To duplicate that would involve a very expensive high-tech counterfeit operation. So that's like very difficult to do. Why can't I just take a,
well, with NFTs,
picture on my phone?
You can't counterfeit them. You can't actually. So the way it works is, if you know how computer files work, when you look at a computer file and you look at the properties of a file, right? It has properties, right? When you look at your bank transactions, right? Those all have numbers tied to them. Those are all different identification numbers that show that something belongs to you, that your bank that you paid something with your debit card that belongs to you, right? So in the case of NFTs, when you interact with stuff that concerns NFTs, it's called Web3 stuff. When you interact with those things, you need what's called a Web3 wallet. Mm-hmm. So think about if your Google account, right, or your Facebook account, when you go to sign into a website and it's like sign in with your Google or your Facebook, that's you using your Google fingerprint to sign into something. Yeah. So in the case of NFTs, you're using your Web3 wallet fingerprint to basically fingerprint your identification onto an asset. Okay. It's a digital asset. Okay. This is all kind of getting a little bit complicated, but that's why you can't counterfeit NFTs, because you're signing it. You're actually signing off your digital signature onto something. So you're taking a trading card and you're marking on it with Sharpie that it's now yours. And you can't counterfeit that because that's your own signature. You have to put your signature and stuff too. Okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what I learned today from you just a few minutes ago, this was absolutely blew my mind about how smart Trump is. Okay. So Trump made the big announcement. He has these NFTs. They're $99 each. they're completely sold out now. All right. So he had them up on the website, the limited number, $99 each. Every single one of them was sold out. You can't buy them anymore from Trump. So then what people do with them, some people hold them, hoping they'll go up in value. But a lot of people bought these and they're selling them online. And there's multiple platforms where you can sell these NFTs, but the most well-known and commonly used one is a platform called OpenSea, which is kind of like the eBay of NFTs.
It's like the Amazon of NFTs.
Okay.
It's big. So the way that works, you're talking about how he's making money.
Okay, so the stories of people selling, so they bought the Trump NFT for $99. Now they're on the OpenSea platform, which you can go to.
Secondary market.
Yeah. They're listing them and they're selling them for all kinds of prices. Some of them are listed for $24,000. People are bidding on them like at an auction, thousands of dollars. Some of them are selling for $200. Every time someone this is what blew my mind, Emily. I did not know this. Every time someone sells one of Trump's NFTs, President Trump gets a 10% commission off of that.
Yes. So the way NFTs work is creators, when they make a collection, when they deploy it onto the blockchain, where people are able to,
this is crazy.
To buy the NFT, right? And it's on the internet, on the blockchain part. You're able to set a creator's fee on OpenSea or on whatever platform you're selling on. And that's basically a royalty fee. A lot of creators set it at like 2%, 2.5%. This 10% is high.
Oh, that's considered very high.
It's very, very high. You normally see it at about 2.5%, 3%, 2%.
Yeah. Well, these are Trump's first NFTs, so they're rare.
This is high. And people are still buying them. A lot of times when you see a creator fee that's really high, people don't buy the collection. So the fact that people are buying this collection could make someone technically bullish on this.
So this is, so Trump's getting 10% off the resale of every one. So if I go on, I bought it for $99. Trump got all that money. Then I put it on OpenSea and I sell it for $10,000. Trump gets $1,000 of that sale, right? I sell it for $10,000. Trump gets $1,000. The person that buys it from me for $10,000, Trump already got $1,000. They sell it for $20,000 to someone else down the road. Trump gets another $2,000. So every time it's sold, he gets a 10% commission.
Yes. So right now,
that's crazy.
He's selling about, in USD prices, he's selling about one every minute.
Oh my goodness!
There's on resale market. People are selling these at a rate of about one every minute for an average around $200. So that's $20 every minute that Trump's making.
He's making $20 a minute.
Yeah. On
average, but some of them are selling for more, but the ones because some are selling for less. Trump is making $20 a minute right now as we, that's a little bit more than I make.
Right now.
Oh my goodness. $20 a minute.
Yeah. Boom.
Just boom. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
And if the price goes up, that could be $30 a minute, $40 a minute.
So why are these people laughing at him that he's got an NFT collection?
One, because the NFT market has been going down a lot. The space has been very
it's dead.
It's dead.
But his are alive.
Revitalizing it with this.
See?
This is crazy. There hasn't really been any NFT collections recently that I've seen that have blown up like this. Especially with creator fees this high, people normally don't buy stuff like this. And also the price to mint was pretty high too. $99 is pretty high for an NFT collection nowadays. Like a lot of them were going out for free a few months ago, and $99 is considered like, oh, like why would I pay for that? And people were paying like $30 to mint. But it's sold out and it's at a resale value. If you bought one yesterday, you doubled your profit already.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And there's also with NFTs, there's rarities. So he has, in his collection I'm looking over right now, there's a few that are called one-to-one NFTs. You know what those are?
No.
They're one of a kind, like in the collection, there's all the NFTs in the collection are unique. Okay. All of them are unique. But a lot of them have certain traits that others share. So one of them might be like laser eyes. One of them might be a cape. One of them might be the background. Those are all traits that, say, like 10, 20 other NFTs out of the collection share with that NFT. The one-to-one have traits that are not shared with any other NFTs in the collection. They all have unique traits that are unique to them, and none of the other ones
so they're even more valuable.
They're more valuable, and those are the ones where you're seeing people list them for a few $100 or $1,000.
Yeah.
So those might end up selling when you look at those. those sell based on the speculative price of people like being like, okay, this is going to go up. So I want to grab one of these really rare ones.
Yeah.
These one-to-ones because I think the price is going to shoot up. So people start buying those. You're going to see the price pump up.
Okay. Now, I was looking on OpenSea right before we went on air, and I can now buy one for twice the original price at $180, $181. I can buy some of the cheap ones. Is that like a good buy, you think? Or you think,
I'm not about to tell somebody to buy one or not.
Would you buy one? It's okay. $180 is the cheapest.
Typically,
right now.
with like from my experience with NFTs, it's based on hype. A lot of it's based on hype, and this is trending on Twitter. It's on the news.
It's the number one selling NFT on OpenSea.
So once that starts to come down, you might see the price start to stabilize a bit. It's going to reach a bit of a stabilization. You might see it start to go up again.
So what happens? Like if I buy an NFT, where do I store it? It's
going to be in your Web3 wallet. It's a digital wallet.
Okay.
Where you have your stuff. So you want to think about it as
like the cloud. It's like a cloud.
No, it's not. No, I wouldn't say it's a cloud. You own it. It's your ownership. But cloud's not owned by you. Cloud's owned by like, Google.
It's like your own private cloud.
No, it's like a
crypto wallet.
Yeah, it's like a crypto wallet that's stored on the internet. Okay, and you only have access to it. And it's like, I guess you could consider it like if it's a shopping cart sort of. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's you own it.
Yeah.
And it's on the internet, or it could be in a hardware wallet, like a physical USB, whatever type thing. And it's just signed to that, and that's you. You own it.
Yeah.
So say you have your wallet on your phone, right? This is very hypothetical. But say Mar-a-Lago like has like an event, and they're like, okay, all Trump NFT holders can show up. You have your wallet on your phone. You take your wallet on your phone, and just like Apple Pay, you go to Mar-a-Lago, you tap in, you tap your NFT, and you get access. That's your access ticket. That's how they would know. So when you pull up and you're like, hey, like I won the sweepstakes. I'm here for my dinner with Trump. They'll be like, okay, how do we know that you're the guy? They know you through your digital wallet. They know that that's you. They can sign that. They know that that's you.
Wow.
And say you want to sell your dinner with Trump to somebody else, you could sell that because on the market right now, that's how it works. That's how NFTs hold their value.
Well, the whole NFT thing's a little. Now you have some NFTs. Mm-hmm. Are they worth anything?
Not much right now.
No, not much right now.
The ones that were worth something, I sold.
Oh, okay. You had something that was worth something and you sold. Like, what's the most you sold an NFT for? You want to say?
$2,000 something.
$2,000?
Yeah, it was a picture of a monkey. It's a monkey.
You sold an NFT for $2,000?
$2,800. Yeah.
$2,800. Yeah. Oh my! What'd you pay for it?
$200.
$200.
And it felt really weird to spend $200 on a picture of a monkey, but yeah, I made a huge profit.
So you sold it. You bought it for $200.
I bought it, and a week later, I sold it.
Were you the original buyer or did you buy it from someone?
I bought it resale. I did not get to mint. It's called minting when you buy one directly from the seller.
Yeah.
But I bought it off resale. I bought it, and then when I bought it, they were minting. They were originally selling at they were selling at like 180. So I paid like an extra like $20 to get it from somebody who wanted to sell it right away. Mm-hmm. And then I sold it to somebody.
Like, how long did you sell it for $2,800 after you bought it for $200?
A week.
A week?
A week, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I bought it like on...
Were you freaking out?
I bought it like on Halloween of 2021, and I sold it like early November.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was crazy. Like, what the heck? Yeah.
I don't quite get it. And it's probably not worth anything now.
It's not. No, it went down a line. It's definitely not worth that much now.
Yeah.
It's worth like a few $100 right now.
All right. Well, it's a little confusing, but on television, they were laughing at President Trump all day yesterday about these NFTs, but you say he's making $20 a minute. Yeah. He's going to get
Since we started talking, he's made a few $100.
Oh, easily. Well, let's see here. You and I have been talking for 14 minutes.
Yep.
So 14 times 20.
Yep.
So he's making more money than I'm making.
Yep.
For doing nothing. Right? He didn't do anything.
Yeah, and there's 45,000 in the collection, right? So
45,000.
And each of them cost $99.
Oh my goodness. So that's
actually these are selling faster now. These are selling every like 15 seconds.
Every 15 seconds he's making money off the NFTs and people are reselling them and he's making money off the same NFT over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because people keep buying them and reselling. I think
they're all different buyers. It's not one person buying a bunch. It's all different people. This is a hot collection.
President Trump. I wish I were this way. I don't know how to be this way. I don't understand. He's very smart. People like Donald Trump know how to make money with zero effort. I mean, not only is this residual income, this is like the most passive income you can imagine. All he did was make like a 60-second video saying, hey, I got these NFTs, and boom. And he's making like money every 15 seconds.
I like this one with him in the hat.
Yeah. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Well,
pretty cool.
All right. Well, listen, thanks, Emily, because the NFT thing's very confusing. And I think the people in the media don't know. They think they're all cool and hip on CNN and everything. They have no idea what they're talking about.
It's very intricate. The whole NFT is very tied to Web3 stuff. And all of that is like very, very new tech. And there's not a lot of stuff on it yet because a lot of it is, whenever you do see stuff about it, it's people getting sued and stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's not much good information about it that you can find just, looking through the news and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of these people where they get their information from the news, they don't know actually what it's about. Well, you really got to get into it. You got to buy stuff in
I bet you that President Trump has someone right now next to him at Mar-a-Lago telling him how much money he's making every 15 seconds, and he's the one doing the laughing now.
It's crazy, yeah. It's you can laugh at the guy, but he just made so much money.
And he's going to make it forever off of these.
He's printing money. As long as they're selling, it's free money. And, it's literally, it's internet money. It's magical internet money.
Magical money.
Because as these people, the more hype they have, the more money they're worth. So it's just literally making imaginary money, basically. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Anybody can make an NFT. Like, I could make a Brian Craig NFT. Not that anybody would buy it. And I don't know how much it'd be worth, but anybody could make their own NFTs and sell them, right? $2. Yeah. Cost me that much to make it, probably. No, but anybody can make it.
It costs a lot to launch a collection. I mean, it depends on the blockchain you launch it on. This one's on Polygon.
Like, do you know how much it costs? Like, if I wanted to launch my own NFTs.
I don't know much about Polygon, but if you launch on Ethereum, it costs like it depends on how much transaction fees are. It could cost like $1,000 just put it on the blockchain. So it's expensive because at least up until, because I was more in it before
the collapse of the NFT.
Yeah. And it was expensive, especially when the transaction fees got really high to launch a project. It might take $2,000 in Ethereum.
And the crazy thing about Trump, not only is he making like money every 15 seconds off these NFTs, he went to a sector of the economy, the NFT economy, which is dead, totally collapsed. He's making tons of money on it and revitalized this whole thing. Now NFTs will probably become a thing again, maybe just for a little bit, because he's, what he's doing, because
he's poured money into it now.
Well, yeah, people that are normally into NFTs are younger people, Zoomers and all that, the Generation Zs. And Trump is getting people that are older that don't even really understand what an NFT is interested in it's a whole new group of people in the NFT market that never would have been in it before.
Well, the thing is with the market too, you have a lot of money in Polygon now that wasn't in it before because people had to buy they bought it with their cards, but when you resell them, you have to resell them with the crypto.
Oh, that's exciting.
So now there's a lot of money back in crypto that people that weren't ever going to get into.
Okay. One last thing I wanted to ask you, because when I was on OpenSea, the prices are listed. If you go on OpenSea, guys, I'm sure it explains everything, but the prices are listed in Ethereum. And you can find the dollars. There's a conversion chart. Do you have to have the Ethereum cryptocurrency to buy them?
Yes, you buy them with crypto now. When you buy them on OpenSea, you buy them with crypto. So let me look. I don't think I can buy one on my phone.
So can you, if you go to OpenSea, can you buy the crypto with your cash to buy the NFTs? You don't know?
You had to transfer. I don't know if you can use like a card on OpenSea.
Oh my goodness!
You need a crypto wallet, so it's going to be a bit involved to buy it on the secondary market.
Yeah, but it's
so the people that are buying these right now, they might have some like prior crypto knowledge. But if you were like, I want to buy one of these right now, I don't exactly know how it works with the OpenSea thing, but you typically, to buy an NFT, you need to have money in crypto. So you got to go out and buy some crypto. Yeah. You could do that on various websites, just make sure you're safe. And then you transfer that to your OpenSea, and you connect your wallet to your OpenSea, and then you buy it.
It seems pretty complex.
It's a bit complex. Yeah.
Well, it seems like, as always, Trump has proven right. Everyone's laughing at him on television, and he did something that was ingenious. And he's made a ton of money. Yeah. All right, Emily. Well, thanks a lot. Now, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Kathy will be joining us, and we got a lot more to talk about. It's the Brian Craig Show. I'm Brian. Thanks, Emily, for joining me, and I'll be back with Kathy right after this.
Diamonds are certainly beautiful, but very expensive. You may not be able to afford diamonds, but you can afford the look with moissanite. Moissanite is a naturally occurring crystal that looks just like diamonds. Jewelry made from this mineral is stunning and very affordable. The Etsy shop, Moissanite Rings Co., that's all one word, on Etsy.com, sells handcrafted, amazing rings, earrings, bracelets, and much more. Shop their diamond wedding and engagement rings and bands. No one will know they are not real diamonds. You deserve better, economical, eco-friendly, and conflict-free fine moissanite diamond jewelry. Available at Moissanite Rings Co. on Etsy. That's all one word on Etsy.com. Buy any ring above $100 and you'll get a matching band for just $1. Perfect for yourself or as a gift. Moissanite Rings Co. on Etsy.com. Start shopping right now. From author Douglas Hurley comes your next must-read book, No Solace in Death, a hard-boiled detective novel available on Amazon. Meet private detective Benjamin Thomas. He's hired to find Beatrice, a woman with a troubled past, a smarmy ex-husband, a cunning insurance salesman, a landlord with knuckle dusters, and a psychiatrist with links to MK Ultra. They all seem to have played a part in her disappearance. Ben follows a trail of dead bodies down a rabbit hole where he uncovers a sinister plot certain to change America's future. His final showdown against the conspirators not only has him facing death, but the loss of his soul. What happens next? Find out when you read No Solace in Death, a hard-boiled detective novel from author Douglas Hurley. Available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. Order your copy right now.
5527, runway 8 kilo, you're clear for takeoff.
Do you want to get your kids a toy they'll really love? The Kids Thrill Kids Airplane toy on Amazon is an exciting airplane ready for takeoff. Let your children transform into pilots and experience a fun playtime with the Kids Thrill Kids Airplane toy. It's perfect for kids of all ages who love airplanes. This toy promotes fun and engaging playtime as well as a creative imagination. The bright colors and wheels will help your children visualize the airplane's toy action like a real pilot. And with lights and sound, allow your child to learn motor skills and help them develop their creativity to stimulate their brain development. It makes a great gift, and the fun doesn't stop there either. Kids Thrill on Amazon have a lot of other toys too, including fun and educational toys for babies, toddlers, and children of all ages, including stacking cups, baby toys, toy trucks like their fire trucks, garbage truck, and construction trucks. The prices at Kids Thrill have huge discounts for the holiday season going on right now. Kids Thrill take great pride in their customer service and the quality of their toys. So what are you waiting for? Go to Amazon.com right now and search Kids Thrill for endless hours of fun for your kids. Kids Thrill on Amazon. Start shopping right now.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Kathy has now joined
Hello.
me, and I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Thank you so much. And, you Patreon supporters, there are benefits to becoming a Patreon supporter, including commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode. And those commercial-free podcast episodes, I upload them after every show when I upload to all the other platforms. And the commercial-free edition is posted on the Patreon page, okay? And it's right up there with the show title, and it says commercial-free show. And I put all the podcast episodes up there. All right, guys, so check that out. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this episode and every episode. And there's also a direct link on my website to our Patreon page, BrianCraigShow.com. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Wesley, Rick, Nick, Macho, and Rome, Wisconsin. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all for your support. All right, so this is so exciting about Elon Musk and what's happened here, okay? And there's a background here. CNN is threatening to quit Twitter. This is great. We're going to go through this. This is beautiful. Elon Musk did some banning this week on Twitter. Twitter's pretty open free space right now, but there's, doxing is against the rules. Doxing is when you give out the personal location of individuals, which can endanger people. You guys, I used to do a lot of live streaming from home, and I have a studio now that I live stream on YouTube from, our podcast studio. Sometimes I did a live stream from the home YouTube podcast studio this week on the Twitter Files, part 5. And, I have a special studio and everything. I used to live stream all the time walking the dog and things like this. And you notice I don't do that anymore. And it's because people started with the doxing, tracking me down, trying to track me down. Some actually did it. And it's really a scary thing. And there was a Twitter account that Elon Musk banned this week. And it was the Twitter account that was giving out the location of his plane at all times. And he travels around on that plane with his family. And, he didn't really like that out there because it made him feel unsafe, especially in these times when he's turning the world upside down. So he banned that Twitter account. And then in relation to it, Elon Musk banned some members of the left-wing fake news media. Let me read this article. This is in the Gateway Pundit, okay? On Thursday night, Twitter banned more than half a dozen far-left journalists from CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other independent reporters who had been reporting on Elon Musk and Tesla. The decision came after Elon Musk declared war on sharing location information on the platform following a stalking incident with his son. And, you've heard me talk about things. I'm not going to get into details, but I've had stalkers on multiple occasions throughout my entire broadcasting career. And it's scary. It's scary. I mean, when one thing, I don't think I've ever told this one, just a brief one. I don't think I've ever told anybody this, not for any particular reason, just was a long time ago. This was before, I've had it many times. One time there was some guy in a car sitting in my parents' driveway at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. My parents, I didn't even live there. They were at my parents' house. And that's scary, okay? And
when it involves your family, it's scary when it's just you, but when it starts to involve your family, then you get
it's
really
scary.
a little more upsetting.
And my mother's a widow, and this is scary stuff, people. I mean, it happens. And the person was just sitting there in the car. And
you never told me that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. And they went out there and said, "What are you doing?" "I'm looking for Brian." It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
I guess he thought you were leaving for work.
It was my parents' house.
But he thought maybe you lived there and he was going to catch you on the way to work, which is a little strange.
Yeah.
Have you had people come to you at the radio station?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, when you're a public figure, that's just how it is.
But this thing with Elon Musk tracking his plane that he travels around with his family, and then there was some incident with his son recently, a stalking incident. He's very high profile, very controversial, and Elon Musk has made a lot of leftist enemies. So let's get back to the story. So let me just start over, okay? On Thursday night, Twitter banned more than half a dozen far-left journalists from CNN, the New York Times, Washington Post, and other independent reporters who had been reporting on Elon Musk and Tesla. The decision comes after Elon Musk declared war on sharing location information on the platform following a stalking incident with his son, X. I guess his son's name is X. These billionaires are just weirdos.
That's what people sign their name as when they're illiterate. When they're illiterate. I mean, that's very interesting.
You know what? Does Elon Musk's son even need to know how to read? I mean, he's got so much money. Does he have to ever do anything?
Exactly.
Last night, car carrying little X in L.A. was followed by crazy stalker thinking it was me, who later blocked car from moving and climbed onto hood.
Oh, my goodness.
Elon Musk told this is like a lot of times, people like me and Elon Musk, it's hard. It's easier to find relatives. That's how they found it was easier, I guess, to find my parents' house than where we live. And this thing here, they thought they had Elon Musk. They had his son. Legal action is being taken against Sweeney and organizations who supported harm to my family, Elon Musk, continue. Jack Sweeney is a 20-year-old college sophomore and programmer who started the @ElonJet account on Twitter to track Elon Musk. Musk suspended Sweeney's account immediately. And then he tweeted this, Musk, any account doxing real-time location info on anyone will be suspended, as it is a physical safety violation. This includes posting links to sites with real-time location info, like the plane tracking.
You know, I saw they wrote an article on Yahoo News about this, and they actually called that kid a journalist. And they tried to
Musk jet?
Yeah, and they tried to play it off like he was blocking journalists that were just blocking their free speech. I mean, that's how they put the spin on this. You know, it's amazing. They're getting a taste of their own medicine, and they're having a hard time, swallowing the medication here. Sorry, guys.
Now, again, I'm reading from the Gateway Pundit, which, by the way, the Gateway Pundit is back on Twitter. They had been suspended by the wokesters. Elon has them back.
Fantastic.
On Thursday evening, Elon Musk also suspended former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, who's just a nutcase.
Love it.
The New York Times' Ryan Mack, CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, Mashable, I don't know what Mashable is. Mashable, M-A-S-H-A-B-L-E?
Mashable. Okay, fragile.
Maybe I
Must be Italian.
Maybe I should start citing my name with an X.
I think so. That's pretty funny. Brian mispronounces things like that all the time. You're trying to put some fancy accent on this.
But I don't know.
Very
Mashable.
Mashable.
You know
it's
what?
Like fragile from a Christmas.
Okay, what it is most of the time.
Yeah.
Not in this instance, but I
know you're not stupid.
No, I wear reading glasses.
Yeah.
You know, I have perfect vision, except I need readers.
Well, then you don't have perfect
vision. And I have 2015 far away. I have perfect vision, but up close, I need readers. And sometimes when I'm reading articles or things on the air, I don't have my readers on. And that was not the case with this.
Sounds like a BS excuse.
No, I had my readers on with machine.
Yeah, you do have your readers on. I'm a witness.
I had my readers on for this one. But some Mashable. Oh my goodness.
Goodness gracious.
Well,
I think you need a nap or something.
Or a reading lesson. I don't know. Okay. Go back to kindergarten.
This will be something we can laugh about for days.
On Thursday evening, Musk also suspended former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann.
You can laugh at yourself.
The New York Times' Ryan Mack. I know that, since the podcast, anybody else would stop the podcast and redo that part over.
But why did he block these people?
I'm getting to it.
Let's get to it.
CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, Mashable's Matt Bender, Mika Lee of The Intercept, and independent journalist Aaron Rupert. Keith Olbermann's considered a journalist, and Tony Webster. Musk said same doxing rules apply to journalists as to everyone.
So they were doxing him too?
I think what they were doing was retweeting some other things that were giving out as information.
You notice how all this doxing, remember that one journalist was doxing the libs of TikTok? You notice how all this doxing comes from the left.
Yeah.
It's a thing with them. They were doing it to Amy Coney Barrett. They like to give out people's addresses so you can harass them. But it's really a form, it's dangerous.
They did this with the Supreme Court justices.
Because,
Roe v. Wade.
You don't know who is getting, you're putting this information out there for everyone to see, and which is extremely dangerous. I think bravo for him. I think doxing people, to me, should be like a crime because you're putting them in danger.
It's a violation of every platform.
You have a right to privacy. I understand that. And just because you go on a platform, people say, well, they're on social media, so they're an open book. No, you still do have a right to privacy, and you should have a right to protect your home and not have people. It is a form of intimidation. It's a form of bullying. Why else are they giving these addresses out? Because they want him to be harassed in one way or another. Well, they're putting him in danger, and they know they're putting him in danger.
Yeah, and
there's intention there with motivation.
I had one of my many stalkers / harassers who was doing things for a long time, and they finally, there was a moment, and all was revealed. And they yelled at me and they yelled at me. They said, "You want to be?" They screamed at me, "You're a public person. You want to be in the public. This is what you get when you're public."
No.
And that's
how a lot of people feel, though.
With me, and I don't know about Elon Musk. I'm not putting myself in this category, but I have a lot of stalker experience, and it's pretty much exclusively been men. Or
for some weird reason.
But the thing about stalkers that I've realized, because this has been true of every single stalker I've had, they feel completely justified in doing it. Like there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. It's like,
and there's different forms of stalking. It's not just physically following somebody or showing up at their work or whatever. Now you have online stalking where people harass you on social media and doxing and posting things about you. That's a form of stalking too. So by doxing somebody, you're really stalking them and you're encouraging stalking by others.
Yeah.
And I really think it should be criminally prosecuted because you're really endangering somebody by putting their address out there publicly like that.
Or the location of their jet.
Yeah, you're in there. Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's shocking to me that Twitter did not suspend that account. And I'm glad Elon did. I'm surprised it took him this long. But why would Twitter allow that account to be there? What were they thinking? Obviously, even before. Maybe that's why he bought this whole platform, to suspend that account.
Now,
I'm serious.
It's crazy. Okay, so CNN, they're just having a fit. So I want to play this clip. CNN, they're threatening to leave Twitter.
They got bigger problems.
So here's their discussion on this. Listen to this. This is Twitter. The reporter in question from CNN is here, and the arrogance. Listen.
I think this raises a big question about what the future of the free press on Twitter looks like. Are news organizations going to stand by as the reporters are just, hastily banned without explanation? CNN is saying it's going to reevaluate.
They didn't mind it when it was happening to conservatives
the Gateway
without
Pundit or Project Veritas or
Milo, Trump. They just do it, and
then it was okay. But like I said, they're getting a taste of their own medicine now, and they're falling apart.
Yeah, and there was cause here, and they know what it is. But anyway, back to this.
This raises a big question about what the future of the free press on Twitter looks like. Are news organizations going to stand by as the reporters are just, hastily banned without explanation? CNN is saying it's going to reevaluate its relationship with Twitter based on the response it gets. I want to read you the full statement, Allison. It says, the impulsive and unjustified suspension of a number of reporters, including CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, is concerning but not surprising. And it goes on to say Twitter's increasing instability and volatility should be of incredible concern.
He can't read either.
He's having trouble too.
He's having trouble. We're all having trouble reading today.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is CNN people.
Sullivan is concerning but not surprising, and it goes on to say Twitter's increasing instability and volatility should be of incredible concern for everyone who uses Twitter. And then it goes on to say, we have asked Twitter for an explanation, and we will reevaluate our relationship based on that response. And I think it's so important to point out that Twitter really relies on news. I mean, that's what the kind of the lifeblood of
and
Twitter.
Journalists. I mean, they're all on Twitter.
Okay,
First of all, it's in the reverse. The journalists rely on Twitter. That's where they get all their news. The Twitter doesn't rely on journalists. Journalists rely on Twitter. That's where they get all their news and information. They just retweet stuff.
Well, this is the arrogance here. Okay, so CNN thinks that Twitter relies on them. Yeah. What Twitter relies on are citizen journalists. Citizen journalist was a term that I think Andrew Breitbart came up with. The cell phone. He said with a cell phone, and when he died, people were still using flip phones. But Andrew Breitbart started talking about how with cell phone cameras and videos, we were all citizen journalists. We're the journalists now, and it's the best kind of journalism. And I'll tell you why. As a student of history, when you're researching history, you want a primary source. A primary source of information on a historical event would be a diary that was kept by a Civil War soldier, a newspaper that was printed during the American Revolution. That's a primary source on the Revolution. A primary source is not like a modern day person, like say if I'm doing research on the Civil War and I have a book from the 1940s, unless that book was written by someone who lived through the Civil War, it's not a primary source, if you understand what I mean. So citizen journalism, when people are recording on their own, it's a primary source of information. You see what is really happening without the censor. It's raw, it's live, it's much better than anything CNN has done, since the 80s. But the arrogance of them, they depend on us, the real journalists. They're not journalists, they're plagiarizers. And what the media do today, they don't write and they don't research. They just lift stories from one another and copy and paste and change around a few words.
He sounded really upset. Like he was hysterical.
Well,
he's like, this is like devastated this guy's life. That, of course, he wasn't banned, but I guess his friend. Maybe he thinks he's next.
Well, I think CNN is going to leave Twitter. I think they're building up to leave Twitter.
That'll be the final nail in their coffin.
That'll be it. They'll continue to write their own.
They're already
irrelevancy.
So irrelevant, and this has been their own doing. I mean, they're really just self-destructive and self-imploding. Their whole downfall has been due to their Trump derangement syndrome. And they have allowed their anger and hatred towards Trump to completely destroy their network. And they're still bashing him. They haven't learned. They haven't changed. And as long as they do that, that's going to keep being the problem. And now they want to get off the most popular social media platform. Let's see if they do it. It would be a huge, huge mistake, by the way. So, but they're having a little hissy fit.
Yeah, they are. Well, the last thing I look at on Twitter is mainstream media accounts. I may follow some of them. I don't know. I may follow CNN. I don't know. But the tweets that I look at on my feed are not CNN, MSNBC, or even Fox.
No, I know. But can you be a news organization these days and be relevant? Like, I know Gateway Pundit just got back on Twitter. I'm sure the fact that they're back on Twitter is going to be much more helpful to them and their brand and getting the word out. It is very hard to be relevant when you're not on Twitter, when you're a news organization these days. It's really the only main platform right now for news
for everybody.
For everybody. You have Truth Social and stuff, but doesn't have nearly the numbers because they're not. I guess they're on Android now. I don't know, but Trump only has like under 5 million followers. On Truth, he has like 90 million on Twitter. That's a huge, huge difference.
Well,
it shows you that it has a huge worldwide reach that no other platform has.
This is what I've been telling you guys. Elon Musk has been ridding Twitter of bots. I've not read any stories on these high-profile people losing followers yet, but it's only a matter of time. They're purging the bots from Twitter, and I told you when that started to happen, you're going to find celebrities and news organizations find excuses to leave Twitter because they don't want you to see their true follower count because their follower count is mostly bot.
CNN has just had one disaster after another. They launched that app that failed within 3 months. That was a huge embarrassment. Their ratings are in the toilet, and Tucker Carlson said in his podcast the other day that they're on a death spiral.
Well,
and I think he's right. It's amazing to see because they can correct this problem,
on the last episode,
but they just refuse.
On the last episode, we were talking about CNN and what could do, and I was saying I came up with a plan for CNN. I'm serious about this. What can they do? The CNN brand is completely destroyed. If I was the new owner of CNN, this is what I would do. And I'm serious about this. I would go back and set up shop in Atlanta. I'd get out of Washington. I'd get out of New York. They would be closed down. We would have a White House reporter, a Pentagon reporter, a congressional reporter, a Supreme Court reporter, and that would be it. And I would fire everyone on the air and off the air. I would do this without the CNN people even knowing it. They're so lazy, they wouldn't even know. And I would hire all new people at CNN Center in Atlanta, if that place is still available to use it like this. And I would just flip a switch without them even knowing. They'd find out like 30 seconds before, and everyone would be gone. And I would rebrand it. This is the all-new CNN getting back to the Ted Turner mission and dream of CNN. And when I say fire everybody, I mean the on-air people, the behind-the-scenes people, the cameraman, everybody. It would be all new people, and I would hire people from local news markets around the country. I wouldn't even hire named people.
Start totally fresh.
I wouldn't hire named people from, from other news outlets. No, like Megan, it'd be all fresh.
See, I think that would be a good pick for them.
When CNN first went on the air, we were kids, but I do remember when it was brand new.
Those were all unknowns too back then.
Well, I don't know. They were unknown to us because we were kids. Maybe some of them were well known to our parents. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
But that's what I would do.
First of all, I don't think so because...
And there'd be no more pundits,
You had no national news outlets other than the nightly news to pull talent from. And those were just one anchor. You had Walter Cronkite or Tom Brokaw or Peter Jennings. And that was really it. You know, you might have had a few field reporters, but you only had a few guys, a handful, less than 5 of people that you could say that everybody knew were news people. So you didn't have this big national pool of talent that you could pull from. I disagree. I think that they should hire Megyn Kelly to go against Tucker. She is really, I know she's had issues with Trump, but I feel she was really caught up in that Me Too crap back then and all that was going on. But her show on YouTube is fantastic.
Yeah, but she's got I would just start completely fresh with all new. Listen, let's take our break. We'll take our last break. We'll come back. There's more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig, joined, of course, by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back after this.
Want to know where all the bodies are buried? Author Robert Allen Miltenberg holds the key to that question in his book, Pool Boy to the Mob, Everybody Out of the Pool. Author Robert Allen Miltenberg holds the key to that question in his book, Pool Boy to the Mob. Welcome to Mob-Ammy Beach. This book is a fictionalized account of Miltenberg working at a mob-owned Miami Beach hotel in the 70s. If you're a fan of The Godfather, Goodfellas, or The Sopranos, you will love this story that's full of colorful characters and wisecracking wise guys. It's a story with everything from Playboy bunnies and weaponized parrots to shattering the glass ceiling and getting away with murder, all in paradise. This is a wise guy tale you've never heard. Surrounded by pools, the trick for Bobby Moskowitz was not slipping in the one thicker than water. Bobby lived to tell the tales, and now you can read all about it. The funniest mob novel since Jimmy Breslin's The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. Pool Boy to the Mob, Everybody Out of the Pool. From author Robert Allen Miltenberg, available on Amazon. Order your copy right now. Do you know someone who's living with a dementia-related illness? Are you a relative, a caregiver, a friend? Are the ever-changing behaviors and emotions that go along with dementia a challenge for you? The book from author Heidi Dalton, Reflections of Hope, a devotional journal for those loving someone with dementia, was written just for you. Reflections of Hope is a comforting friend for your journey, written with authenticity, compassion, and grace for the caregiver by someone who has been there. You are not alone. This is a great resource for personal use, support groups, and church groups. Available in both ebook and paperback. Reflections of Hope, a devotional journal for those loving someone with dementia, from author Heidi Dalton. Available on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, Books A Million, and the author's website, HeidiDalton.com. Hear that music? That means it's Christmas shopping season again. And when you're Christmas shopping, there's no better place to go than MyPillow.com. And with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, you will find the lowest prices ever on top MyPillow products. Right now, order your MyPillow My Slippers for $90 off in all sizes and colors for both men and women. The MyPillow that started it all is just $19.98. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper is 50% off. The MyPillow pet bed is 50% off too. There's also incredible savings on the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, the 100% Giza cotton dream sheets, the MyPillow bathrobes. Whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of it with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order over the phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Are you looking for a book about real lives and real people? A book that will make you laugh, cry, and laugh again? Then order your copy of The Adventures of Harley, Not Davidson, from author Harley Angel, available on Audible, narrated by James Pryor. The Adventures of Harley, Not Davidson is a memoir that's filled with fun, danger, motorcycle gangs, and even a first kiss. Join Harley on his adventure and experience all the things he's been through in his 50 years, living between motorcycle gangs, violence, as well as his first crush, and being a witness to something he wishes he never would have seen. The Adventures of Harley, Not Davidson, from author Harley Angel, is available on Audible, narrated by James Pryor. It is perfect to listen to on your way to or home from work. Order your copy right now.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. So now we're starting to get a list of the individual donations that Sam Bankman-Fried gave. Listen to this. $46.5 million in Sam Bankman-Fried donations to political groups and $27 million to the Protect Our Future political organization. It's a PAC that worked to elect Democrats. $5.2 million to the 2020 Biden campaign. $1 million to Beto, who returned it, by the way. He returned it. $11,600 to a Republican, John Hoeven. Hakeem Jeffries, $5,800. Mitt Romney, $5,800. Debbie Stabenow, she's another Democrat, $5,800. Susan Collins, traitorous Republican, Rhino, $5,800. Cory Booker, $5,700. Another Democrat, $5,800. It's mostly to Democrats. And if you notice, the Republicans that got the money
they're like Democrats.
They're mostly never Trumpers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know.
Well, a lot of good it did him to donate to all these campaigns. He's still sitting in jail.
Well, you know, you can't necessarily help who donates money.
Right.
So, you know, it's not like I would hold everyone accountable.
No.
But when it's so heavily Democrat, you know, there's something there, and never Trumper, there's a pattern, and it's a pattern that, you know, people have to notice that he was giving money to some very bad people.
Yeah, and I'm more concerned with this issue with the Ukraine and the money shifting around with that. That's, to me, more interesting and important, how that all germinated, how that all occurred.
We're going to find out.
Hopefully. He said he can't testify against himself, but other people can testify.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene called for an audit of all Ukraine monies.
Well, let's hope that happens, because I think that's a fantastic idea.
You know, there are so many things going on in this country that are just stupid, that are just bizarre to debate, like the non-binary and all this stuff. It's just, you know, it's stupid. But
these are all.
Listen to this story.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The TSA. This is just how stupid things have gotten. The TSA has spent $18.6 million to fund non-binary systems that will be rolled out in January. The reason for this is that TSA screeners had to select the gender of the person going through the body scanners. Some travelers are saying that their gender was improperly assumed. The TSA spent $18.6 million in funding on non-binary screening systems, which are set to be rolled out in January. Currently, TSA screeners decide whether a traveler is male or female, then press a button for the body scanner. And I've heard a lot of stories of perv TSA agents, because they're basically X-ray machines looking at the naked women and stuff. Currently, TSA screeners decide whether a traveler is male or female and press a button for the body scanner corresponding with their appearance, as the system scans males and females differently. And people who say their gender was improperly assumed, which I don't even understand how you would know, because you're not privy to this, you're just walking through. People who say their gender was improperly assumed may ask for a rescreening before a physical pat-down, and TSA rules mandate for travelers to be patted down by officers of the same gender that they appear. So if you are a biological woman who appears as a man pats you down. If you're a biological male living as a woman, a female pats you down. This is just stupid.
Sounds kind of kinky.
Using funding from last fiscal year's appropriation fund, the money went towards working with the manufacturer to update the algorithm for increased accuracy and efficiency. I mean, come on. I mean, this is just stupid.
Yeah, it is. The whole thing is stupid.
Isn't it? I mean,
I think they're way too intrusive with flying. I understand 9/11 was horrific and all that, but it seems like they've really run away with their...
Well, has been hijacking in a long time, and that's good news.
It is, but I think these X-ray machines that show all this stuff...
It's a little too much.
I don't know. Of course, they did find a cat in a suitcase a couple weeks ago that stowawayed they saw it on the X-ray machine, but I don't know. I know 9/11 changed things, but...
The TSA, you know, Kathy... If you look at these TSA agents, I don't know. We probably have TSA agents listening, and I don't want to offend you guys, but they're not really highly trained elite security people. Okay, if you're a TSA agent and you weren't a TSA agent, you'd be working at the cell phone store or back after 9/11, the beeper store, right, Kat? I mean, you know, these are not, and I keep hearing these stories of just perverts. You know, having the women go through the machines and looking at them and everything. And it's really, the thing about it, okay, after 9/11, we didn't have a TSA, so they did some different things. I remember they had soldiers at the airports and everything, and the TSA came later. And after 9/11, there was remember the guy that tried to light his shoes on fire? Mm-hmm. And he wasn't able to do it because the passengers jumped him?
Yeah.
I flew not long after 9/11. I went to Boston a couple months after 9/11. I would say maybe, I don't know. Remember when I went to Boston? It was for a Star Trek convention to meet William Shatner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought the ticket.
Yeah, and I had to change planes in New York, and we flew over Ground Zero when it was just a hole in the ground, and there was still smoke coming out of it. So I don't remember how long after 9/11 it was, but it wasn't long after 9/11. And I remember what it was like flying in the couple years after 9/11, and a lot of you guys will probably remember this. This first time was a couple months later that I flew, and people would be on planes, especially guys, and you'd be looking at each other, and everybody was like Beamer, like, okay, we got you, and if something happens, we're ready to. People were like on guard, and that guy with the shoes. The passengers tackled him, and he was unable to complete whatever it was he was trying to do. And an incident on a plane back then would have been very difficult because the passengers would have jumped you. Because in the past hijackings, they'd fly you to Beirut and try to get some people freed from some Muslim prison somewhere. Now, when they're going kamikaze, no one's going to let that. But you know what? It's been so long now, Kathy. A lot of pilots don't even remember 9/11. They were too young. Yeah. Too young. So, I think we still need them. As creepy as they may be and as bizarre as they may be, I think we need the TSA more now than we needed after 9/11 because people have forgotten and they're not on guard, like they used to be. But do they really need these machines? They can see you naked.
I don't know. I don't fly anymore, but I don't like it. I just think it's a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
With it.
I do too.
I don't think it's
I do too. And
terribly appropriate. To be that it's a little too intrusive to me.
Yeah, and liberalism just does stupid things, okay? At the airport, there were so many people going through the airports to do something to add another layer of effort to the security screening. Actually, with this non-binary thing, okay, we got this new non-binary thing, This added effort makes things less secure because they're distracted by something that's just stupid. I mean, how many non-binary
I don't know, a lot more than there used to be.
Well, see what happens, Kathy. See, this is what happens. You have Democrats running things. What if somebody misjudges? Maybe someone sees a guy coming through but think it's a woman living as a man. Now they got all these. They're not supposed to be worried about such things. They're supposed to be profiling not for non-binary transgender people. they're supposed to be profiling and things at the security checkpoints for people that are a danger, like Muhammad Atta was.
I guess it matters because they go through your luggage and they might pat you down, and they have to match your gender. So then it gets really complicated. What if you have a TSA agent that's a man that says she's a woman, and it gets very complicated. You know what I mean? How does that work? You have a guy going through who's biologically male, identifies as a woman, and then what if the only TSA agent that is a woman is really biologically a man? I mean, this is like it gets complicated, and these lines are so blurred. I tell you, I really feel bad for kids growing up these days because there's too much information and it's too confusing. I would hate to be in high school.
How would you date in high school?
Right. I mean, I don't even know if they do date anymore. They do everything online now. They don't even meet. They have relationships through social media. I just don't. It's just a different world. It's just so foreign to me. The way we used to do things were so different. And look, I want everybody to be treated nicely. And if you identify a certain way, I don't want you to be bullied or treated poorly. But, like you said, some of these things are just over the top, unnecessary, completely ridiculous.
I want the TSA agents being on the lookout for people that are a danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Not worried about what gender people are.
Well, this has become the primary focus of so many things now. You don't see this in other countries, this obsession with gender. You're only seeing it really here, and you're seeing it now in schools, in public libraries. Now you're seeing it with TSA. You're seeing it in movies, television. It is becoming a major theme in our society that we're having to deal with and address, and it's becoming all-consuming. Yeah. And it's absurd. It's absurd, but these things snowball and they take on a life of their own. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, you're in the middle of it and dealing with it. It'd be awful to have to deal with this as a young person. I think it'd be so confusing for some people.
Now, I wanted to mention this story. This is a story out of the UK, and it's just it's just pathetic story. Okay, Charles and Camilla Delight, the new king, and what do they call her?
I don't know. She's the queen, I guess. I think she's the queen. She's married to the king.
Is she the queen, or does she have some special status?
I read something where they called her the queen, so Queen Camilla.
Okay.
I mean, she's not like Queen Elizabeth. She's not the reigning monarch.
Well, like the Queen Mother wasn't
queen by marriage. I mean,
Okay. Charles.
Now, if Diana was married to him, still, she would have a different title because she would be the mother of the future king.
Yeah.
So
there's a difference.
So I think there's definitely would be. Mm-hmm. She would be like Catherine of Aragon. She would be like the true queen of the country. I don't think Camilla has that title. I don't know. If you're English, UK Neil, we need you. Explain.
They've had a racial incident at the palace that's been resolved. Listen to this.
So ridiculous.
Charles and Camilla delight at a welcome outcome as the late Queen's lady-in-waiting, 83-year-old Lady Susan Hussey, meets black charity boss in Ghazi Fulani to apologize in person for asking her at a palace reception, quote, "What part of Africa are you from?" unquote.
Well, is she from Africa?
No, I guess she's from the United Kingdom, but she's black.
Okay.
She's the queen consort, it says here in the article. The king, he'll always be Prince Charles to me. Sorry, Charles, not that he cares. The king and queen consort are said to be pleased for the welcome outcome after Lady Susan Hussey apologized in person to black British charity boss in Ghazi Fulani after repeatedly asking her, "What part of Africa are you from?" So I guess she didn't answer, so she kept asking. The 83-year-old who served as the late queen for 6 decades stepped down from her honorary role with immediate effect among furious outcry after Ms. Fulani tweeted about her experience at the tweet. And let me tell you something here. This woman's 83 years old. She's from a different period. She was loyal and next to Queen Elizabeth for all these decades. And this woman comes in here and this woman's later years and just her whole identity now is this terrible thing because of a misunderstanding.
I mean, what's worse? This woman asking her what country in Africa she's from, which is just a faux pas, really. It's just a social faux pas. Her doing that or this woman tweeting about it and getting her fired and shaming her nationally to the entire world. Who's the bigger bully here? I mean, give me a break.
Her whole life now is summarized by this. When she was close to Queen Elizabeth.
Incredible.
The scandal prompted...
shame on Charles for jumping up and down excited
exactly.
over this. What a jerk.
The scandal prompted an intervention from Prince William, with the heir to the throne criticizing his godmother's unacceptable comments. He's woke,
He's all woke.
And saying racism has no place in our society. That's not racism.
No.
I have met African people that have that are from Africa that have British accents because they were educated in England or something. I don't know. This is not uncommon.
I've met people that are white that have a certain accent. Like, it's hard for me to tell between certain accents sometimes, Irish and Scottish or Australian and English sometimes. So I might say to them, where are you from? You know what I mean? Are you from England? What part of the UK are you from? What part? Is that offensive to somebody? No. I mean, that's just stupid to be offended over. I'm sorry.
Buckingham Palace revealed today that the former aide had now met the activist who founded the charity Sista Space, Sistah Sista Space, to express her sincere apologies, which they said Miss Fulani accepted.
I don't think this is that big a deal.
The pair now want to rebuild their lives in peace following the distressing past few weeks. In a palace statement revealed, it added that the king and queen consort were pleased that both parties have reached this welcome outcome.
They staged this whole apology here.
Yeah.
I wonder if Queen Elizabeth would have handled this differently. She was old school. She probably thought it was absurd too, but she obviously would be concerned with public outcry. But they're coming from this area now where you got Meghan and Harry with their stupid documentary saying how they're racist, and Meghan, who's a liar, said that somebody questioned the skin color of their children, which I don't believe for a second. I think she told Harry that, and he believed it. He eats it up because he hates his family. But I think a simple apology privately would have sufficed if somebody was this offended over it. I think it was an innocent remark. I don't think she meant anything by it. She's an old lady. We all have older people we know that say things that might not be socially acceptable all the time. I mean, we
all say stupid things.
In my own family.
We all
They're
say
just
stupid
from a different
things.
time. How can you expect people that were born in the 30s, late 30s, early 40s, to know everything they need? My mom can hardly use her phone, okay? Every day she's calling me or Emily. How do I do this? How can you expect these people to keep up with all the latest social appropriate? It's every day it's something new.
Exactly.
I mean, I can't even hardly keep up with it. I tell you, I feel bad for this woman. It was just a stupid little social faux pas. It was no big deal, but because of social media, I think the woman who posted it
is a bully
and a horrible person.
Well, I'll tell you,
publicly shaming her over something so stupid.
There's a couple things I don't like about it, okay? A couple things I don't like about it as we end. I don't like a woman who's 83 years old having her whole life defined by this non-event that happened that really no one would have known about. If she wouldn't have gone to Twitter with it. And I don't know, maybe the lady was drinking. It was an event. She asked her several times. I don't know. So what? And also, I don't think I think it's very disrespectful for Charles and the Queen Consort and all these jerks up there that, to do this to this woman who was so close to their mother, because it paints Queen Elizabeth as someone who was associating inaccurately with a racist. And
no, I don't think they mind that at all.
And I just think the whole thing's horrible. And this whole idea that, and I know the UK is a little different than America, so far as race relations go. And, I saw an interview once with a Black Lives Matter person out of the UK, and she was very upset. And she says, we never had a civil rights movement in the United Kingdom. Oh, okay. And I don't know really what the status or things are with minorities, with Black people in England, although I've never heard someone refer to themselves as an African Englander or an African United Kingdomer. I've never heard that, like we have or African Canadian.
Well, maybe that's why she was so offended, because maybe in England, the Black people there don't affiliate with Africa as much as they do here. I mean, here, I think if she had asked an American
marrying a black person.
I don't know. They affiliate with Africa, and they like to do that. But then if you ask them what part of, it's just an ignorant comment she made. It's not really, to me, anything she should publicly apologize for. It just was a stupid comment. I mean, how many times have, like you said, if people made stupid comments, or you or me, everybody makes stupid comments sometimes. It's,
Yeah. Well, the idea that there's racism and everything, and this woman's racist, who's got the power? This woman just did this terrible thing to the lady in waiting to the great Queen Elizabeth.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Who's in the position of power? The rich old white lady who was buddy-buddy with Queen Elizabeth for 60 years?
Well, a lot of minorities have made the argument that they can't be racist because that would involve them having power over a white person. Well, here's a prime example. She got her fired. That's having power over somebody's job and their reputation. And she took it and went public with it and publicly shamed her. And she has power over her. So I guess so what she did is racist.
I guess. I don't know. Well, listen, guys, we're all out of time for today. I want to thank our daughter, Emily, who joined in the first segment. And if you guys didn't listen to the first segment, if you happen to catch this on the live premiere on YouTube and didn't catch the first segment, my our daughter, Kathy, our daughter, was with me in the first segment, and we were talking about this incredible success that President Trump is having with his NFT release that everyone's laughing about in the media. And our daughter, who really is an expert when it comes in NFT and cryptocurrency, she knows a lot about it. And she actually, in her work life, does things involving it. She really not only explained NFTs, she explained how much money Trump is making off of this in a way that no one in the media has talked about.
It's like passive income.
It's amazing. So if you didn't catch the first segment with our daughter, Emily, go back and listen to that. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We will talk to you next time.
Comedy podcast fans, there's a podcast that will have you on the floor laughing. Gene and Ozzy bring you the company of two fun-loving and joke-cracking old friends. They're two old friends that discuss all kinds of things, but no controversial subjects and no politics. It's a fun and clean time you can count on to make you smile. It's perfect for your drive to or home from work. Take a break from the stresses of life and have a chuckle as you listen to Gene and Ozzy discuss your favorite topics.
Hey, I'm Gene.
Hola, I'm Ozzy. Welcome to the Gene and Ozzy Show.
Did you want to be Darth Vader?
Never.
What?
No, that was not my favorite character on Star Wars. And sometimes you had no idea how to even play the game. I can't describe Joust to you. I had no idea what that game was all about.
Stuart had more toys than I did.
I got to meet the Stuart one of these days. Is he alive?
He's still alive. He's our age, and
at our age, you got to ask: is he alive? Like the kids ruled the world in the 1980s. Everyone,
we ruled the world in the 1980s.
Yeah, of course, parents still beat us to death, but we felt like we had the upper hand on.
Parents had the real control, but in our brains, we ruled the world. The thing about my Aunt Lizzie was she had a smoker's voice. And it was like this. And see your Aunt Lizzie. Sounds like you were alfalfa in school.
Oh, it was terrible. Beyond your imagination how terrible I looked during school days. What is it? What were the shoes that we would wear in the 70s and 80s?
Buster Brown shoes.
Buster Browns. Buster Browns.
The Gene and Ozzy Show, brought to you by your favorite host, Gene and Ozzy. Find these two funny guys on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform. Add the Gene and Ozzy Show to your playlist right now.